day 8 of 75 book. I cannot believe I've been doing this for a week. So today we are still tracking along with the previous book, which is the Shelly Laurenston's Hot and Badgered book. And I read a little bit more last night, so I am starting off from page 194, which is 41% in. So we're almost halfway, and I still have no idea what's going on. But I have hope that it will all work itself out in the back half. So that is today's goal. I am about to start my challenge. The weather is miserable outside because good old Kiwi summers, and this kind of feels like the perfect sort of book to be reading in bad weather. So let's see how I go. So both reading sessions are now done for the day. My first session I read for 40 minutes and did 52 pages, and in the second session I did whilst on the elliptical, and that was for 35 minutes and I read 35 pages. I'm not obsessed with the story, but I will see it through to the end. I do have some fairly decent issues with how it's being written, but I want to know where the story goes. I have a feeling this won't be like ending book, and by that I mean I have a feeling it will continue on into another book, which I'm not a fan of, but we'll just see. Let's keep trucking, and yeah, this is the best situation. I'm on page like 301, so I'm getting there. I'm over halfway. We're getting there. It's a slog. Day 9 of 75 booked, and we are tracking along. Now I'm still reading Hot and Badgered by Shelly Laurenston. I am at 77% and 370 pages in, so I'm really optimistically hoping to finish this book today because I am kind of over it. So let's hope for some good reading sessions, and I'm about to start session 1 now on my commute, and then we'll see how it goes from there. I forgot to film my end of day conclusion yesterday for day 9, but I did finish Hot and Badgered by Shelly Laurenston, and I read in total 87 pages yesterday across the 2 sessions. So really glad to get that finished and move on to another read. And I think yesterday was a pretty solid reading session actually. I really started to tick through the pages near the back end of that book. So yay. Now let's bring on day 10. Day 10, 75 booked. We have finally finished Hot and Badgered. And I say finally because it was a very slow read. But I have decided to go back and read and finish reading in a jam. I suspect I will vibe a lot better with it now. So picking up where I left off with this book by Kate Canterbury. And I am at 20%, which is not showing me my pages. 89 pages. So let's see how much I get read in my first session, and then we'll have another session later in the day. So let's see how I go. So both sessions have been done for the day. First session I read for, I think it was 25 minutes. My train ride is a bit shorter than 30, and I read like, I think it was like 40 pages. The second session I did 35 minutes on the treadmill and read, I think it was 50 something pages. All up, I read like 93 pages today, but I'm done with this book. I am DNFing my first book of the year, which is in a jam. I just am so bored. And this book was raved about, but I'm just so bored. The only redeeming character is the little girl, who I think is hysterical, and somebody with nieces that age who have mouths on them. Very funny. But otherwise, I'm just not vibing at all. I just find them so boring. She's an alcoholic. He's pissed at her for not loving him, even though at no point in the last 15 years, including when they were in high school 12 years ago, has he ever told her he liked her. But how dare she not love him back? And the whole thing is just a hell no from me. So I will be looking for a new read to finish the month out strong with, and we'll see what that is tomorrow. Day 11 of 75 booked, and today I have a whole heap of driving to do, so I'm actually going to do my first session as an audiobook. I'm going to dive back into the Taskmaster compendium. I think I've got a couple of hours left of it, so let's see how much I get done in session 1. So I ended up doing a double session. I listened to my audiobook for like an hour and like a couple of minutes and got through 14 more percent, so I'm now sitting at 78%. I'm hoping to finish that off in January. So then I'll have 2 lovely audiobooks finished, but it was quite a good day. It was a lot of driving yesterday, so I'm really glad I got a nice good chunk of my audiobook done. But yeah, that was day 11. Day 12 of book 75, and we are really getting into the swing of this. Now, first up, before we get into it, I received some beautiful book mail today, which was the American covers of the Bourbon and Lives special edition, and it says, "Lie to everyone, but not me, honey." Very good quote. And I love it. It's so cute. The difference between the two is quite interesting. This has a little bit of shimmer and shine, glossy bit in here in the bourbon cups, whereas this one is completely matte on the cover, and it's also darker, which I find fascinating. They're also a different size, which means on my bookcase, it is slightly annoying. But that is okay because they both have beautiful edges. As you can see, the cowboy is on the back here, but fabulous. I'm so excited to have both versions of these. Don't judge me. But getting into reading, I've already done session 1, which was an audiobook session. I finished the Taskmaster's compendium. That was, I think it was about 40 minutes long. I did it while I was doing housework and all sorts of things, because as you can see, it's a beautiful day here and it is howling winds. So I have been working that laundry and doing other things around the house. I'm about to do my second session, which I'm going to try and get one last read in before the end of January, and that will be The Bookish Girl's Guide to Mating with a Werewolf by Lola Glass. I know this is short and that the cover is really cute, and that's all, folks. So we'll see how this goes, and yeah, session 2 about to start. Reading session 2 is done, though that session was like just over an hour. I think it was an hour and 5 minutes, and I've read the whole book. So it's only 143 pages long. It wasn't very long. It's very light novella. And yeah, so that is officially January finished at 13 books. 2 were audiobooks and everything else were ebooks or physical. And yeah, that is day 12 of 75 book done as well. So join me tomorrow to see what we start February with. Day 13 of 75 booked, and it is the 1st of February, so I am starting a new book today, and I'm actually picking between 2 of my priority reads, which are Honor and Cash. I think I'm going to go with Cash because I've been really wanting to reread it for like the last couple of weeks for some reason. So we'll start with there. I also have a Valentine's Day bookmark, which will be perfect. I've also downloaded it onto my Kindle so I can dual read in 2 places, and we'll see how much I get it done in this first session. And of course, we have coffee, and everything is strawberry themed this month because that is my theme for the month. So let's see how we go on for session 1. Session 1 is done. I read for 48 minutes, I think it was, so slightly longer, and I got to page 55, and I'm still loving this book. This is so, the grumpiness of Cash is fabulous, though at the start Molly does come off like a spoiled brat, but loving it. Can't wait to read more later on today. And we're back. Session 2 is complete. I did 35 minutes on the treadmill, and we are definitely chunking through this. I read 61 pages, so all up we're at page 115, and I love this book so much. This is grumpy. There is no sunshine. This is grumpy, and it is fabulous, and it is enemies to lovers. This is like top tier cowboy romance, and of course, when reading this, you must also listen to Riley Green, who, if you know Jessica, that was her inspiration for Cash. So of course I've been blasting Riley all day whilst reading as well, which just enhances the experience. But that is day 13 all done and dusted, and tomorrow we'll see how far I get. Day 14, 75 booked. We are officially at the end of the second week of this challenge. Now, I've read so much. I am loving it so much. It's so much fun, and I'm getting out and doing so much more exercise. So today we are picking up Cash again by Jessica Peterson. I am about a third of the way through, I think. I read a little bit more last night. Got to page 145. I am loving it. They are just starting to look at each other slightly in a new light. The grumpiness is starting to soften a little bit, but we'll see how far we get into this in the first session, which I'm about to start, and then there'll be a second physical session later today. So session 1 is done. I read 25 pages in like 22 minutes, which is fabulous, and I am just over a third of the way through now, Cash, and still loving it so much. Session 2 finished. So for session 2 I did 35 minutes on the bike at the gym. Holy Moses. And I read 64 pages, so all up we're at page 212, and I think it's about halfway as far as I can tell. Ignore the noisy motorbike. So we're about halfway, and it's just starting to get very good, and I am still absolutely loving it. I also have come home to some very exciting book mail that I must share, which is The Mistake and The Score, the special edition versions, which are stunning, and I will do a separate video on all the details.